In this week's video, we share highlights from the week we spent in Taxco, from some of the best things we ate, most beautiful views we saw, and of course some gorgeous churches. Stay tuned to the end for a full cost breakdown, as well as a list of our top recommendations.
We are Georgia and David. We quit our jobs to travel full-time around Mexico with our 14-year-old Sheltie Poo Meep. Our goal is to take a picture with her in front of 100 Pueblo signs.
Normally, on our first day in a city, we don't record anything, but look at this view. Fantastic. Really couldn't be better. Hola, David.
Trying to fix me. She's tangled herself.
Meep, what have you done? For our main course, we both ordered the mole Rosa. We started with the chicken flautas, which was accompanied by this salsa, which is actually made with jumiles, or stink bugs. A very interesting, strong citrus flavor. Okay, well, our first stop of the day is Pozole Thursday. Here in the state of Guerrero, they are known for their pozole, and at this restaurant, every day they serve white pozole. On Thursdays and Saturdays, they serve green, and only on Thursdays do they have red. So today is the only day, Pozole Thursday, that you can get all three. So we're gonna go in and try it.
All right, so we just finished up our pozole. Georgia got the green originally, I got the red originally, and I thought that her green was so much better than mine that I actually got a green as well.
To be fair, the red was still delicious.
Still very good,
it's
yes.
Just that the green was incredible.
Yeah. Even after getting 2 beers along with the 3 pozoles and 1 water, it was only 350 pesos after tip.
Yeah, so an excellent deal. I think we'll probably be making it back here at least one more time. As we were entering the church, a gentleman out front who told us that we could go up to the bell tower for a donation of 50 pesos each. And I can confirm that it is definitely worth the 50 pesos. I can also confirm that there are many, many stairs up to the top. Still a little out of breath. We are at a pretty decent altitude. Interesting fact about Taxco is that it actually spans between 3,500 feet and 7,000 feet in elevation within the same city. So depending on where you're trying to get to, it could be quite the hike. Yesterday we didn't end up filming a whole lot because in the afternoon we kind of went on a mission. We needed to pick up a few things, and we decided we didn't want to take the car out to go the 4 kilometers to the main grocery store. We thought we could just walk down the main street and pop in some stores. And we ended up going in 5 stores trying to buy just sparkling water, some ground beef for Meep, she doesn't eat dog food, a shower poof for me, and some Kleenex. After 5 stores, we still didn't find any Kleenex. Then later, David went out trying to find beer. You'd think finding beer in Mexico. Simple, right? He went to 2 Oxxos. Neither of them had beer. He went into 2 local little corner shops. Neither of them had beer. He looked on his phone to find a Modelorama, which is like a big Modelo beer store. And that place no longer existed. So finally he found a little corner store that had a bottle of Victoria. But it was just kind of one of those days, and that's one of the things that you have to deal with sometimes with traveling, is you don't know where to go for things, you don't know where the best places are. So sometimes something that seems like a simple task ends up being kind of frustrating. But after all that, we went to a little taco spot. We got a bunch of different tacos and some cocktails, which were great. And then we went on to enjoy the most expensive carajillos we have had in all of Mexico. It was 350 pesos for 2 carajillos. So while the carajillos were delicious, we won't be going back there.
So today for lunch or brunch or however you want to say it, we went to Topo y Salsa, which is tortilla chips and salsa. And this is a make your own chilaquiles place. Georgia got chilaquiles divorciados with avocado and arrachera. And I got chilaquiles verdes, or green, with eggs and arrachera as well. And as you can see, the view is amazing here. And we have a little friend sitting next to us.
Wow, those chilaquiles were probably the best I have had so far in Mexico. Once you add in that view, it is definitely worth it. Highly recommend that spot.
For sure. One thing you'll notice here in Taxco is that a lot of people are driving these Volkswagen Bugs. Actually, I think all the taxi cabs, or most of them, are Volkswagen Bugs because the streets here are so narrow and so steep that they're one of the few vehicles that can easily navigate the streets. All right, so we're getting ready to go into Casa Borda. Don Jose de la Borda is actually from Spain. He made a lot of money here in Taxco and in Zacatecas from the silver mines.
Yeah, at one point he was the richest man in Mexico, and he actually paid to build the Santa Prisca church here in Taxco.
Casa Borda still had some pieces from Dia de Muertos on display, but they were in the process of changing the exhibits, so there wasn't much to see. So a couple more things about Taxco here is that there are no sidewalks on these narrow roads, so you have to kind of dodge the cars as you're walking up or down because the streets are also very, very steep.
Yes, you kind of have to hug the wall every once in a while. The other thing is that Taxco is the world capital of silver. They don't currently have a working mine, but they are still selling tons of it. I would say every other store is a silver store.
At
Maybe
least.
it's 2 out of 3. I don't know, but there is a lot of silver here. The high point of the city is where the Jesus statue is. But if you look down from the church, it just keeps going down. So you really appreciate the difference in elevation. So we are now at Rosa Mexicana, and our food arrived very quickly with our cocktails. I got a strawberry mezcal drink. David has a lime mezcal drink there. And then we both got the Rosa mole with chicken, which is a specialty here in Taxco. We had it at the first restaurant we went to, and it was pretty good. This is definitely one of the thinnest moles I've seen, so we'll see how this is. But we definitely can't complain about the view. It's amazing. Okay, well, I said last night that we had ordered the most expensive carajillos that we'd ever had, and here in front of us now are the new most expensive carajillos we've ever had. I have a feeling we got spoiled by low pricing in Morelia and Puebla and San Luis Potosi and Zacatecas, and now as we're getting towards the coast and in a more touristy area, prices are going up. But the view is spectacular, and as we've gotten to watch all the lights come on in town, it is really beautiful. Highly recommend. The food was amazing. The mole was absolutely delicious.
So today is Saturday, so we had to go back to the Pozole restaurant and get green pozole again because they only have it available on Thursdays and Saturdays.
And while we were enjoying our delicious pozole, I remembered that Taxco has its huge silver markets every Saturday. And we were not prepared for how big that market was. It was stall after stall, and every stall had different items. Everything was unique, everything was handmade. I ended up picking up these sterling silver hoops, and they were only 130 pesos. I also picked up this hammered silver cuff bangle, and that was 420 pesos. So I'm very happy with my purchases, but we walked through that market for over an hour, and boy, it was hot. It was 80 outside, but it felt like it was about 90 inside that market. and the sun was pretty intense. So now we are enjoying a well-deserved beer on our balcony, and as you can see, the view is pretty great. Well, after hanging out at the Airbnb with Meat for a little while, and David got some editing done on some YouTube videos, we have come back out to dinner, and we are at La Intriga. We passed by this restaurant last night after we went to Rosa Mexicano. We saw all the lights, and we figured we had to come back. After looking online, I saw they had good taco options, and I can confirm that the margaritas are absolutely delicious. All right, so our main course has arrived. We got the Intriga platter, which comes with beans, guacamole, chori queso, which is just cheese with chorizo in it. We have chicken, we have steak, and we have pork. And then, of course, we've got all of the salsas and onions, and then tortillas to make our own tacos. And these are those incredible margaritas I was talking about. They are not sugary sweet, and they are strong.
This morning we grabbed a cab in front of our Airbnb for about 70 pesos.
And now we are at the top of Taxco, basically at El Cristo. The ride up here was intense. It's one thing is you watch all of the cars make those hairpin turns and back halfway up.
A little bit different
pass
doing it
each
yourself.
other within inches. Yeah, when you're in it, it feels real different. It was like a roller coaster.
So this Cristo statue is a lot bigger than I expected.
Behind us right now, the view is absolutely spectacular. You can see all of Taxco. Mountains just keep going. The city kind of ends, and then it just turns into these like green rolling mountains. It's super beautiful. You can go stay up here longer and appreciate the view. There's also some blooming Noche Buena or poinsettias and a bunch of little white butterflies around them. So it's a great view.
So we're currently on our way back down. We only took the cab one way.
And the reason for that is I watched Tangerine Travels video for Taxco, and Maddie said that the pozole at this restaurant was even better than the pozole we had in the Centro. The name of the restaurant is La Tia Felix. So we're gonna go see if we think that the pozole is better than the one in town, because I loved the one in town. The pozole verde there was fantastic. The broth was better than the place in Centro,
Sure.
and the corn was better. It was softer. The broth is spicy though, so if you don't like spicy things, maybe not get the verde. I don't know if the other two are spicy. The one down in Centro did have a bit more meat in it, and the one in Centro is pork, and the one up here is chicken. So, you know, they're both really, really good. I recommend both. But the waiter here was super friendly. We did get a couple micheladas, and we decided to try their mezcal at the end, and he brought us 2 complimentary shots.
Yeah, he came around and asked us which one we liked better, because there are 2 different kinds. They had a Blanco and a Amarillo, a yellow and a white, and we both liked the yellow better. And so he was like, okay, well, I'll just bring you another one for free. So it was great.
It was really nice. It's definitely a very local place. And the ambiance is also a lot better than the place in Centro. The place in Centro is kind of like downstairs in a basement. And this, you have a view of the mountains. There's a palm tree in the breeze.
Yeah.
The ambiance is a lot better.
Much better. And the music's great. And so this corner here where these kids are playing, our taxi cab had to like floor it to get up around this corner. So hopefully there's no taxis coming anytime soon. All right, so from our Airbnb, we grabbed a taxi to the beginning of the Teleferico for 35 pesos.
The ride up was super beautiful. It was 105 pesos per person for a round trip. The Teleferico does close at 7, so we're gonna try to grab some dinner up here, but I do have to say, even if we end up having to get a cab back down, which you can do because this is a hotel, the views are worth it. On one side you have these beautiful mountains with trees, and then on the other side you can see kind of Taxco fading away into the distance. And since we did it at around 5:30, the sun was just kind of starting to go down behind the mountain, so really beautiful. We're at the restaurant at the Montetaxco Hotel, and I ordered the humile, which is their signature drink, and it has a raspberry syrup as well as mezcal and lime. They also brought us some homemade baked bread and some fresh salsas, but the most impressive thing is the view.
All right, so we finished up our dinner with the Cariño, and then we had to race back to the Teleferico to catch on the way down.
Yeah, that dinner was really delicious. You know, sometimes you go somewhere and you're definitely paying for the view and not the food, but no, the food and the service were both really, really good. The view coming back down the Teleferico was great. The whole town was lit up, and the sun was just finishing setting, so there were like great purple colors in the sky, really pretty. We did grab a cab back to the Airbnb. I think that was 40 pesos. And tomorrow is our last full day in Taxco, so hopefully we get to hit a couple more museums and at least one more restaurant before we head on to our next destination.
So today we're heading back to Centro because even though we've been in Taxco for a week, we've forgotten to get our family picture in front of the sign.
Yeah, I just realized that last night. We almost messed up pretty well, so we've got Meep with us. We're gonna go get our family photo, and then we're going to grab some lunch. So we are at Casa Santa Lucia restaurant, and they brought us some really delicious homemade bread with butter and jam to start. And they have this cool contraption to keep the flies off your food. I love it. We started with the agua de sandia, or watermelon juice, and we both got the house mezcal to kind of build our own cocktails. Which you can see, it's a very pretty little terraza here, and then great view of downtown Taxco. Well, we just finished up our lunch, and it was really good. I got the arranchera burrito, which was excellent. Dave got the arranchera costra, which is like a cheese that is cooked hard and then topped with steak. And then he also got the arranchera fajitas, and those are both pretty good. So overall, I would recommend this place. It's not the best meal we've had here, but it's very solid. Now we are going to try to find a butcher shop to get Meep some meat, because she, as I said before, does not eat dog food. She's a little spoiled princess.
For our last meal in Taxco, we've come to Flor de la Vida, which is the highest terraza in Taxco. They have like 3 different levels.
This was the entrance to our Airbnb, and you can see we've got the Jeep parked out front. I booked a whole house, but since it's an older home, they have 3 apartment units upstairs, maybe 2 or 3 apartment units upstairs, and then we got the entire downstairs, which you can see they had covered parking. So you come in the entrance, And down here is the living room. You can see there's quite the ledge there, so we really like to watch meat. If you come through the living room, there's a tiny corner that they have turned into a third bedroom. And then if you step up this big ledge and you come down the hall, you'll see the bathroom, which the water pressure was pretty awful. And then here, this is the room we just kind of use for storage and charging things, is a double bed and 2 twin beds. What was great about this place was this balcony here. The table had lights on the umbrella and had a great view of town. Back down the hall, you can see this is where I did my makeup. And these stairs are blocked off at the top where the apartments are. Here's the main dining room. And off it, you can see they put up this wood wall to make another bedroom. This is the one that we actually slept in. It's also a double bed. It also has a balcony. This one has a hammock on it. And then back past the dining room is another little dining table and the kitchen. The stove was very slow to heat up. As you can see, the appliances are pretty old, and that refrigerator makes a lot of noise. This was one of our least favorite Airbnbs. This Guanajuato was the other. It seems to be a trend because in these mountain towns that have very steep roads, it's hard to find places with parking, so it definitely limits our options. And while there isn't anything super wrong with this house, it was just very dated and nothing worked quite right. Our last night, the toilet even started to leak onto the floor. So happy to move on at this point. We did enjoy Taxco, but this was the place.
For fancy dining options, we recommend Rosa Mexicano, or ride the cable car up to the Montetaxco Hotel and have dinner at El Texqueño during sunset. For wallet-friendly restaurants, we recommend Pozole La Tia Felix and Pozole Tia Calla. Remember that you have more options on Thursdays. And finally, we recommend De Topo y Salsa. If you're looking for things to do, check out Parroquia de Santa Prisca in the main square, the Cristo Rey statue in Viewpoint at the top of the city, and the Saturday Silver Market.
7 nights in that Airbnb cost us $615. We spent $47 on transportation, $39 of that was tolls just getting to Taxco. Entertainment was $16. We spent $40 at bars, $462 at restaurants, just $27 on groceries. Since we were only there a week, I didn't cook very much. $10 on 1 Telcel recharge, $34 on personal care. That brings our grand total to $1,251 or $179 per day.
Well, Taxco wasn't one of those cities that we loved right off the bat. The streets are super narrow, there are no sidewalks, and they're super steep. So it's not a ton of fun to walk around. But after eating at a few of the rooftops and trying some of the amazing food and talking to some of the extremely friendly people, Taxco has definitely grown on us. We really enjoyed our time here, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. And of course, if you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, leave them down below. And if you haven't already, check out our Dia de Muertos video. It's my favorite.